Good morning, Japan. I am so happy to meet you today and to tell you about the life cards. This is a new card system to help you find out about information that will help guide you in your life. The cards are based on chakra system, and they also have colors that represent the chakras. They have keywords, and they have phrases and pictures. And we lay out the cards in a specific layout, and we use dowsing as well to help clarify the answers. So the life cards are very useful when you dowse the answers, but you don't have to know how to dowse to use them. So it's a way to help everybody find out issues, find out solutions to their issues. So I invite you to join us now while we do a real reading. I'd also like to point out that we have a little book. This book is in English, but there's also a Japanese translation. So the book tells you how to do it. So even if you've never worked with cards before, and if you've never dowsed, you can use the little book and find out what the layouts are and how to use the cards. It's like any card oracle system, like the tarot card, but not that. When you do the layout, you look at the colors of the cards to see which chakras they relate to. So let's do this now. Now I have permission from a client to do a reading, and I'm not going to say the client's name for their privacy, but I'd like to show you as an example how we do it. Now, the first thing I like to do always is to clear the space. We can do that with a bell, or we could do that with a pendulum, where we can disconnect non-beneficial energies or distracting energies so that we get an accurate reading, and we bring in good energy for truth and to help our client. So let's begin. And I'd like to say the life cards are available from the website address below your screen. The first thing I want to do, I have permission from my client, and I'd like to focus on the issue that she has given me to focus on. As I'm focusing on the issue, and I'll tell you the issue is, what should I do for my career, for my future? So this is a youngish person who has been doing one job but wonders, what should I do next? Where is my life going? So it's a broad question, but we'll try to find answers. The first thing I'll do here, while thinking of the issue, I shuffle the cards. Now these are other dowsing tools. I'm just going to move them a bit out of the way. Maybe I'll use those after, but I'm shuffling the cards and I'm thinking of the issue. What should this young person do for her life? It's important to focus on the question. What is the next steps? What will bring happiness? And then I bring the cards into a stack. And I'm just going to keep this in front of me because this reminds me what the layout is. The first card that we put down represents the client. So here we go. And I turn it over like this. And the first card representing the client is the card rigid. The message is, it's hard to stay in the same place when things move. Now we'll notice that the card is red, which has to do with the root chakra, which is both having to do with survival and for creation and manifestation. So right away this tells me that the client is a bit rigid. She's experiencing something that's rigid, but it's hard to stay in the same place when things move. Things are moving around her, and it's like she's stuck in a rigid spot. So the next card we put down on the layout is the goal. Card number 2, we're putting down the goal. Where is she trying to go? And we know that she's thinking about, what should I do with my life? So we put the goal down, and we get the card lustful, which is another red card having to do with the root chakra. And in this case, the message is greedy action creates short-term satisfaction. And the picture here is of a Ferris wheel and people just having an adrenaline rush on a ride. So because this card comes as the goal position, we have a sense of desire for experience in life. So just like get out there and seize life is where she wants to go from this position of being rigid. And let's just check with our pendulum at this point. And we can ask, is it true that the current state of the client is feeling rigid? I get a yes. I can also use my dowsing charts here, which help define not just yes and no, but to what degree is something happening. And let's use this one right now. It's a ray chart. And I'll ask, to what degree is the client rigid in her experience right now? I get her being rigid at a 3. So that's a good sign. Even though the card says rigid, she's still able to change. If the dial went up to 10, we would know that the client was so rigid it would be hard to change. But because it only goes to a +3, we know there's a possibility of change here. So that's good. Now this other card here has to do with the type of issue we're dealing with: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And also we have past, present, future. So it's very useful to use your pendulum and your charts in combination. And now the cards have shown us all root chakra, but let's just check with this card, and we'll say, please indicate for the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, please indicate the primary emotion here. And I'm actually swinging to emotional, which leads me to believe that the issues around the client are quite emotional. So it's got to do with her emotions and her feelings. So let's move on. So we are looking now for soon. What's coming up? Number 5. And we pull the next card. So coming up for her is the card Assumption. This is the color purple on the border, and it's got to do with the crown chakra, which is a spiritual connection. And the message is, many forms disguise themselves as truth. And when we make assumptions in our lives about what is true, we are sometimes mistaken. So, and the picture here is of an eyeball, but again, it's upside down. If intuition had come right side up, we would know that there was a powerful intuition developing for this client. But in fact, what we see coming up are assumptions being made. The last card that on our layout here is number 11, and that's the influencer card. So this is what's going on in our client's life, but what's happening in the world that is going to influence that. And the card that comes up as the influencer is the subconscious. This is another crown chakra card, and the message is, nothing is lost, but it can be difficult to retrieve. And again, it's the I and the planet. So it's a really big card, and the subconscious is really what guides many of our actions. So in our daily life, we make choices with our conscious minds, but our subconscious minds can hold us back sometimes. And because this is in the influencer position, and it's a crown chakra, so she's now got 3 crown chakra cards. So it's as if there's a strong spiritual connection. And the message is actually quite encouraging. Nothing is lost. So even though up until now there's been rigidity, there's been vagueness and confusion, nothing is lost. It can be difficult to retrieve. So everything is still possible for her to get into life and to experience that more, but it can be difficult. So even if you don't have time to do a full life card layout, you can pull one card, and the card for me right now is known. So that's kind of fun. So the message is, the answers and resources you seek are at hand. This is a card for me that shows I create my destiny. And I appreciate the support of the universe very much. I set my intention and I go for it. Thank you so much for listening and watching and finding out about the life cards. The next time we'll do a video on the chakra layout, which is also very powerful. But for now, I invite you to put your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and enjoy your life. Meanwhile, this is Susan Collins from Canada, and I wish you the best of everything. Thank you so much.